Hello, my name is Unicorn, and in this video we are sniping Planesbreaker with a team that got planes broken earlier, right before it was actually fixed, and now they had to go back in and repeat the run so that they can actually get their Planesbreaker counted towards their achievement journal. In this group, Templar Healer is running damage setups on Trash, but with Worm and any kind of selfish DPS set. And they also use Destro ulti on Trash, but I didn't have Destro ulti leveled on this tool, so it was like unmorphed version of it. So I just slot Barrier instead and used it whenever either Raidlit calls it or when I feel like it's gonna help me not throw, because I was not looking to throw it for them, definitely. So that's why the setup that you see is quickly put together and it's not really thought through, so it's probably not super optimal setup. It has some damage skills. I'm using shards as spammable. I have execute. I have chain just to help chain some random ads, especially the ones at the start that like to get stuck behind and not follow, and therefore ruin your time because you need to go back and kill them. And then on my back bar I have couple hats and club heal so that I can burst heal whenever it's needed, especially later in the trial where trash packs have the burning dot applied to people. It is extremely lame that this team also had to deal with the Planesbreaker achievement, and I feel bad they didn't get it on the initial run through. There are some positives in it. When you go back into the trial, you improve, get better at it, and it's super satisfying to see that you can improve your up times, fight times, and things like that. I hope the remaining member of the team who couldn't make it on that night also gets the achievement pretty quickly, because team decided to go back and do it for the third time. And seeing how they are super efficient at getting 36 feet all access and getting past Bahsei 36 feet, I feel like they can do it very, very quickly. So we got two OX here, and I'm checking my setup, and in Jorvold, Aro, Master, Resto, and Symphony here, and I'm basically chaining the frogs and cleansing. Depending on what happens on the group, I decide whether I cleanse close or far. Majority of the time it's gonna be close pull, the pull that is behind the DDs, but sometimes if the kite healer doesn't get the poison and the tank or the DD, the off tank or the DD get the poison, I need to switch my positioning. So here, as soon as mini spawns, usually Jorvold runs out and you need to cleanse at the same time. So in here, I'm trying to basically run towards the cleanse pool and cleanse as soon as possible and complete my heavy right after also as soon as possible, while positioning myself in a way where I'm not gonna attract the charge. Because charge comes right after the first poison and your heavy comes up after that first poison as well. So it's kind of all coincides together. You need to be super aware and make sure that you time all of your movements and heavies correctly for just that first set of poison. Here, as you can see, OT got the poison, so I need to switch the pool in which I'm cleansing, and I'm just running through to the other pool. And right after, I'm starting to chain the frogs. As I said before, in Wax guide, frogs spawn every 8 seconds after a person cleanses in the pool. So you pretty much need to chain 3 frogs per poison cycle. And sometimes you can help the OT also chain the frogs on the other side if you have extra GCDs available. So I'll be just looking around, and unless I'm performing some other mechanics, so I need to block for certain like dangerous mechanics right here, I'm gonna be just spinning my camera and looking where the frogs are and chaining them, while maintaining my uptimes to the best of the ability. Here I see some frogs on the far side of the boss, so I'm just moving a little bit over to the other side so I can have line of sight on those frogs and chain them from that side. And basically, that's majority of the fight. You basically maintain your uptimes and see where the frogs are so that they are chained in as soon as possible. If you let frogs unattended, unchained, and they're not cleaving and not dying, they will be spitting all over DDs, and DDs are running harpooners, and they will be ruining harpooner stacks, so damage. DDs will lose some damage there. They will be either forced to use monster helms instead of harpooners, so that's a little bit of damage loss there, or they will be just not having harpooner stacks and lose damage there. All in all, it's just basically, if you're not efficient at frog chaining, the damage goes down and fight times goes up. So soon enough, the boss will be performing double charges. It happens after 50%. During the double charges, my job is basically to hack the wall, the back wall, as best as I can, so that I'm outranging the boss and I'm further from the boss than all the DDs and off-tech. And here's the charge. I'm just backing up towards the wall and I'm kind of gauging where the boss is, so I need to run in a way where boss doesn't shift left or right, so that the main tank doesn't have issue repositioning him after. So I'm just gauging, okay, he's like left of that pole or right of that pole, and then I'm just running in straight line towards the boss from the position where I deemed it's suitable for proper charge that doesn't ruin the positioning of the boss. Here there's a poison queue already started because the third pool is flashed, so our kite healer is kiting first. After he cleanses, I will get my poison and I will be kiting as well, along with MT. So that's the strat. Basically, you want your supports get the poisons rather than DDs, so DDs can keep doing damage. So poisons will come out soon, and here you see poison comes out right before the charge. So I'm planning in advance, get the poison away from the area where I need to receive the charge, and then I'm just kiting them away, so that I have safe spot over there to receive the charge. And then I'm coming back. As he's winding up the charge already, I can just sprint very quickly to position. That's why I have also a couple Swift in my setup, as you probably saw in that brief window when I checked my setups. And after this is over, I can go kite pretty much anywhere. I don't really need to stand at the door there, so I just kited out to Narnia so that my poisons are not all over the place, don't interfere with the group, and don't interfere with my positioning. First, trash pack after Oax is usually challenging just because you came after Oax execute, you've been very focused on trying to survive that and do that properly, and then that's over and your head is still in the Oax execute and you're already doing this trash pack. So it's very important to, as soon as you exit the Oax room, to refocus yourself on what's ahead of you rather than thinking on what's happening during the Oax fight, because usually when I die on this pack, it's just because I'm distracted and thinking about what happened during Oax. I'm going to let the remainder of the trash play out and then return with some commentary for the Bahsei Hardmode.
We bring forth Xalvakka.
Three, two, one.
Die with dignity.
Focus direction.
Three, two, one.
Do you think you're brave coming here?
Oh, sorry. I think you could have a bit. I just need my name.
Come on in, friend.
Three, two, one.
Into the pits of destruction you go. We bring forth Xalvakka.
People. Sword on fire.
Food, gear,
This time we're seeing.
So we got to Bahsei. On Bahsei, I'm running Jorvold, Arrow, and Symphony as well. And my job is to maintain uptimes to the best of my ability, keep the tanks alive, and chain archers closer to the group so that they can be cleaved and killed. Since the change to Miss form where tanks cannot utilize it in trials, the healing part of this fight became much more complicated because tanks take massive dot damage and you have to maintain very strong incoming HPS on them for them to be able to stay alive. And tanks are 100% dependent on the healers being proficient in this fight. In addition, because there is a mechanic where you have to hide curses away, right? You need to stay away from the group with those curses. It's very tricky to be in range for heals for the tanks and at the same time being far away so that your team doesn't get cursed, right? So you have to work with your team such that they stay as close to Bahsei as possible, and then the tank stack the Abomination and Bahsei close enough so that DTs can do damage to Abomination because it's a priority target in this fight, and at the same time be close to Bahsei and cleave Bahsei, but not cleave Bahsei to the point where you get 3 Abominations spawning all at once and murdering the tank with triple bleed. So as you can see here, whenever I have an opportunity, so either I just got curse, so there is no risk of cursing the team, or curse was recently over and next curse is not coming up, I would just come over to the where main tank is and pop my ritual so that my ritual covers the tanks. I also keep my healing spring on the tanks where they hang, and I weave in ward allies as much as I can so that if tank is low on health, ward ally pops on them, gives them a major vitality since I'm in Black Rose Resto, and it's all in all very beneficial skill if it procs on the tank that is in need of heals. Since you're running Jorvold, right, your ward ally will last longer and your major vitality buff from Black Rose also will last longer, so it synergizes very well with Jorvold Tarot setup. Besides that, I'm just maintaining combat prayer to the best of my ability. When the Abomination spawns and it's traveling towards the team, I'm trying to pop portal on it, because usually off-tank range stuns the Abomination, right, so they're not gonna puncture it up until it comes into the stack. So as it travels, maybe extra portal doesn't hurt to have it. And but my main focus and my main priority is heals on the tank and chain the archers in and maintain my M times to the best of my ability. So I'm also responsible for altar. It's super important to keep altar up, because if you don't have altar and tank needs it, they could easily die, so it's a very big responsibility to also have altar in this fight. I think in this team we might have 2 altars, because I recall getting a synergy for it, so it might be on 2 people. You don't really need 2 altars in a team, so long as 1 healer has it, should be sufficient, but 2 doesn't hurt either, so long as you can accommodate it. So the first half of this fight is usually basically stack Abomination, slams along certain wall that team decides on, and then when the second part of the fight comes up, Abomination stops spawning and you get Fire Behemoth instead. Fire Behemoths do not leave any kind of ground AoEs besides the initial burst. When they die, they just blow up, and then it doesn't remain on the ground. So because it doesn't remain on the ground, you can stack them anywhere. So usually by the time 50% of the fight comes up and first Behemoth spawns, the third portal also comes up. And so you don't really want to move Bahsei up until portal is over, because you don't really know whether good or bad cone you're gonna get, or what kind of cone you're gonna get and where she needs to go. So you would just keep her in place there, receive the first Behemoth next to Bahsei somewhere where you finished stacking the Abomination AoEs, and then once the portal is over, you can repark her by the portal so that when Behemoth comes out, it's very close to the team and gets cleaved immediately as soon as it spawns. For the healers here, there's a lot of incoming damage, because there are ghosts that harass you, there are flame walls that if you don't block, they take a good chunk of your health, so you could easily die if you don't block a couple of those walls. If those walls especially overlap, definitely you're gonna die if you don't block it. So what I'm doing is I'm weaving in as many of the ward allies as I can, so that me, my co-healer get it, the tanks get it, and we just have this extra safety padding that helps us to survive that more challenging part of the fight, because there is much more movement, much more incoming damage on the healers, and pretty much everybody benefits from supports not dying in that part of the fight and being basically in position and being able to maintain uptimes and everything. When meteor spawns, I turn around and debuff the meteor if I can, if I'm in range for it. If I'm not in range, obviously I'm not gonna risk my life to debuff it, but if I can debuff it so it dies faster. If the meteor spawns and DDs need to walk toward it, you need to notify them that curse is out or no, whether they should be aware of the curse, because they cannot separate from the stack too much when curse is about to go out, since they can get it, or they will cut you away from the tank, and so if you cannot heal the tank, tank dies. So definitely super important to communicate when the curse is
Exploding
are
three,
a danger
two,
for the
one,
DDs
reloading.
while they performing certain mechanic when they need to move away from their positioning next to Bahsei. And of course, you need to notify the DDs that the curse is AoE, travel on the ground, and which direction they will be approaching the DD stack from. Normally it's right because of how they're designed to curve counterclockwise, so most of the times they will be approaching stack from the right. But sometimes, depending on where you blew up, it could be from the left. If, for example, if I get the curse and go all the way to the left where the lava is and blow up there, my curse will approach the stack from the left. But otherwise, it would be right for the most part. So the fight is over, and we just need to finish next trash pack, Ash Titan and Xalvakka to get Planesbreaker. I'm gonna let the rest of this play out since it's not much different than what you've seen in my other videos. I hope the extra Oaxiltso and Bahsei explanations were helpful to you and will help you to get your PB.
2, 1. Super fucking fast. I hit a creep down the hill. No, we
No,
didn't.
we are exploding.
Give us a second.
Oh, bad still.
Such brave prey to enter my realm. You shall
Falling.
be
3,
a quick
2, 1.
snack.
I have to go hunting.
After this one is friend and yo.
Last one's gonna.
Look around. Do you truly think you can escape from here?
Gary's gonna hunter again.
We will start with yo and Nato.
Again, make sure you change it. Once everyone's here. Oh, is anyone already? Action while it's set. What'd you say?
I'm good, I'm good.
Change your gear. And sharp pencil.
3, 2, 1.
Grab it.
Yo, we already.
Where is it?
Skipped it. It's
Skip.
Skipped it. Kite.
Shield.
We'll start with C and friend.
Make sure you're free to die.
Souls of the brave and the doomed. Such a delicacy.
I think everyone.
Pulling the boss in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
The flames of Nehru's Dagon consume you. The might of Xalvakka overwhelms you.
No way again.
Daedra.
I'm in.
3 Daedras.
I've got one.
As your companions
Got the other. People of phone, please.
And just took it off.
Fire grab.
might of Xalvakka
Phone.
overwhelms you.
Yo, waiting.
Careful of the blob in the back.
D, anything. And
Watch as as your companions burn! The might of Xalvakka overwhelms you!
Shoulder.
Left.
Right.
Watch your timing. Both watches timing.
2 watches.
You're running.
You cannot win! Drown in fire! Yes, give chase my morsels! Deliver yourselves to me!
Going.
Remember emailing the C
Kumo and Nato.
The might of Xalvakka
Oh, whichever side.
overwhelms
Side is it?
you!
I'm going right.
No, it's right based on where we're facing. Also, I'm on the right side.
C went.
Am I too much
Lift,
for
lift,
you?
lift.
Would you like more?
Eyes on Daedra cross room.
Watch your timing.
Block cast.
You went.
Okay.
Watch
Watcher
your
is
group.
front room now.
Xalvakka overwhelms you.
Right. Okay, left.
Okay.
Watch it moving so much.
The might of Xalvakka overwhelms you.
Nato.
Right, left. Watch your
Got one
timing.
Daedra.
Careful of that block.
Am I too much?
Lift,
It's not-
lift, lift.
Would you like more?
C went. Yo.
Watcher in the group. Watch out.
Xalvakka overwhelms you.
Watcher did.
Right.
Running in 3. Running in 1. They're running.
Drown beneath the flames.
On top it will be shout and breath.
I have but a herald. A horde awaits behind me.
Going.
Whatever.
The might of Xalvakka overwhelms you. Watch as your companions burn. Am I too much
left.
for you?
Not right. Far.
Would you like
Okay.
more?
I got the Daedra wanted.
Watcher.
Watch it.
C went. Yo.
Might of
Please.
Xalvakka overwhelms
It's
you.
fine.
Can you hold this on if you can?
Yep.
Watch as your
Right, pop up.
companions burn.
Right? Show it again.
The might of Xalvakka overwhelms you. Watch as your companions burn.
Pressure reverse.
Current group.
Stage off bar.
Got him. Watch out for cone, please, guys.
Am I too much for
Right,
you?
right.
Would you like more?
After show, C and rubber.
Beats all the line, please.
Might of Xalvakka overwhelms you. Watch as your companions burn.
Go again.
Up with the Onisher.
Thank you.
The might of Xalvakka
Right, 20.
overwhelms you.
Stage off.
Top stage off.
Watch as your companions burn.
As you can see here, the damage and execute slow down a little bit, and she will split for the third time, and it's extremely nerve-wracking for the team to experience split so close to her death. And we got the fire shell as well, which is the harder one to get to without dying. However, team overcame it. Up here, I'm like not even having for a row because I'm like, what if I'm having and somebody dies? So I'm just butt clenching, spamming the heals, make sure nobody dies, and then I'm executing my first arrow heavy right after the shell phase is over and everybody is more or less safe. Oh my god, that split was so stressful, dude!
I know. Oh
Fuck
my god,
me.
I got every fucking mechanic at every wave. We got the title. We got the title. Fuck yeah.
Congrats, you guys! I'm so happy for you! Oh my god!
Kumo and the fucking thick
Calm down.
definitely take two.
Please let me. Please let me.
Kumo loves to go, some Kumo loves to go.